All right, let's get this show on the road this evening tonight. So, okay. All right, we're live tonight. Beatnick Dee is going to be joining us tonight. Really, uh, I mean, for everybody that's going to be tuning in tonight, it's a lot of kind of a geek out session, if you will. Um, Beatnick Dee and I are going to be talking a lot about records. We're going to be talking a lot about sampling stuff. We're going to be talking about vinyl culture. A lot of fun. Something that, the vinyl culture is something I know that we've been involved with 12-bit soul for a long time. And definitely wanted to have him on board because this guy takes, vinyl collecting to a new level. Every time I get a package from him in the mail, I'm like, I see records that I've never seen before. So I think you'll have a good time with Nick. He works with Fred Reck, West Coast legend, hip hop legend. As far as his production works goes, he's as I mentioned, he's doing sound design. He's got a new music library out called Prisma. That's super dope, and you get a chance to hear more of that, hear more about that, I think. And also, we're going to be giving away, as you can see at the bottom here. I try to get fancy and actually copy that and pin it versus typing it and trying to multitask while doing this live. So at the bottom, you'll see we're giving away tonight the 12-Bit Soul Volume 5 library and Nick's the Prisma Music Library Volume 2. So head over to Divided Soul, Divided Souls. Head over to 12bitsoul.com, enter your email. We're going to be picking the winner on Monday, which is 6/15, so make sure you do that. So we are, okay, flipping that around here. And we're just waiting on Nick to show up. So yeah, we're, he's going to be tuning in. But definitely that Prisma library is crazy. So I was just listening to some of it, what he sent over today. So, all right, so let's get our friend in here. All right. And we're waiting for Nick. Here we go. Let's get the show on the road.
What's up, boss?
What up, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Well, I didn't
How
know.
about yourself?
I know you guys are in LA. I didn't know if it was still, 28 days later out there or whatever. I mean, is everything okay?
Nah, you know what? It seems like a lot of people are a bit lax with it now. Less people wearing masks. More people hanging out. I'm seeing more people hanging out closer.
Well, I mean,
It's
it's funny. By the way, I want to shout out everybody tuning in. Sarah, Beat Butcher, good looking out. C-Rock, Circuit Brent, of course. But dude, down here in Atlanta, it's like driving around, and I'm like, was there even a pandemic?
yeah. You can't always tell.
It's crazy from that standpoint, dude. So,
Yeah.
people are quick to get amnesia. But we'll see what's going on. But anyway, man, I know I was thinking about the last time we were together in LA, and that was like, it's been 3 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a minute.
When we were at, when me, you, and Sean, shout out to Sean, we were at that burger spot you took us to.
Yeah, that's right. Stout on Cahuenga, right by Amoeba Records.
Yeah, that was a good spot. That and Amoeba Records, man. It was kind of hard to have a better day after that. So,
Yeah.
good looking out on all that. But man, kind of wanted to dive into it. I got a couple treats I'm gonna pull out. A couple surprises. I think you'll trip out on a few of them. One of them in particular. But yeah, so we'll have some fun with that. But man, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you hail from, a little background
Yeah,
information about
so
yourself.
I'm from the UK, but I was born in California, San Francisco, so I have dual nationality, dual citizenship. Very fortunate to have that. I've been residing in LA now for 8 years. Been a producer, music producer for probably like 13 years, something like that. Taking it more serious for like maybe 10 years. Um, yeah, do sound design. I do, Prisma Music Library. Just started my boy DJ Ride
Right.
recently. That's been cool to get into that side of the game. Um, and also shout out to King Underground Records in the UK. I do a bit of work with them, helping out with releases and stuff, and yeah, writing for them, and did a reissue recently. This album called Crack from upstate New York, late '70s album that was like kind of overlooked, and we reissued it. So that was cool.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So
Yeah,
what genre what genre was that? What would you say from that
it's a
era?
real mix. It's a real mix. It's like modern soul. It's like jazz, like yacht rock. Um, yeah, kind of a bunch of stuff. Real soulful though. Real soulful.
Okay. No, that's dope. Now, how's it? I mean, how well's the reissue being received and all that?
Really good, actually. Yeah, better than we thought. Yeah, better than we thought.
Well, and that's what I was that was kind of the intro I gave on you. I was kind of laughing and you know, I kind of I feel like, not only am I the hair club president, but I'm also a client. I just kind of laugh like I'll just send you some money. I'll send you like,
Right.
$150, whatever it is. I'll say, Nick, just put a package together, do what you got to do. And that's what I was saying on the intro. Like, you'll send stuff, bro, and I'll be like, wait, I've never seen these records. Like, and it never fails. It's not like
Right.
you're sending me something of that I've got double now that I have doubles of. Like, you just, I really want you to expound on that as far as it goes with your vinyl, your hunting, because that's going to lead us into international breaks, which I think this will be a
Sure.
good build in for that. But talk about that whole hustle and job you've got as far as tracking down vinyl for customers.
Yeah. So, man, yeah, been digging for a long time. Been buying records before I started making music. It kind of was a transition thing. But yeah, digging through my parents' collection. They were both kind of hippies back in the day, so they had a eclectic collection. Um, got this one record that my mum actually played bongos on in the late '70s.
What?
But yeah, that was a big influence, just their collection stuff. And fast forward though, like, yeah, it just became a thing of like making some extra money. Really, I love music, I love records, and I might as well sell some to fellow producers who are looking for just some more unique stuff, some international stuff, random foreign stuff, prog, soul, jazz,
Yeah.
yacht rock, soundtracks, library music, of course. Um, and yeah, just built up a good clientele of customers like yourself who trust me and my taste to,
No question.
send some really, really unique stuff for inspiration, for sampling, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. You never cease to, you just don't disappoint when you send it. Every time the package comes through, I'm like, and I tell myself, I'm like, I know
Glad
Nick,
to hear.
he's got to send something that I'm gonna already have, and it's
Right.
like,
Still hasn't happened yet?
and I no, it hasn't happened yet, dude. I'm
That's
sitting
good.
on 3,000 records at the crib. It's not like, I have like 2 crates and I'm you're trying to compete with 150 records. No, like, you send stuff. I'm like, man, because I've been collecting records for like almost 30 years. So
Wow.
let me throw my
Yeah.
age out there, right? And in
Yeah,
this
that's amazing.
era where everyone's aging down, I think I just aged up. But
It
yeah,
never
man.
stops though, right? It's a never ending, discovery.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I always laugh when people scoff at sampling, or they'll be like, "Man, there's nothing else to sample," and I'm like, "You really don't get it. Like, you really don't get it. And then when you start diving into the international stuff, it opens up a whole new world.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. Yeah, I mean, looking at record covers that you can't read, and you're
No.
just trying to guess, judging by maybe if there's like some instruments on the back cover or a picture of, you know, some synths or something like that.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, you never know.
I tell you, shout out to Sarah. You know, I always love Sarah's involvement. She's awesome, man. She's been very key. I want to definitely shout her out. She's been helping us out with a lot of the IG live stuff, and she's actually out in LA as well. And
Oh,
no,
right on.
she's fantastic people. But so let me
Yeah.
ask this too. So who are some of the clients that you've, you know, solicited records for, as far as, you know, that goes?
Yeah. Yeah, Fred Rec, DJ Muggs a lot. Muggs actually all the time. Alchemist, there's Lewis Parker,
Definitely.
Emil Haney. He's like Lana Del Rey's producer, done stuff with Kid Cudi and Kanye and people. Buddha and Grands. Yeah, there's a lot of people, just thinking of those off the top, but yeah.
So Muggs, you know, and I say Muggs just because, you know, been a huge fan. Actually, everybody you mentioned in there, big fan. Definitely, you know,
Yeah.
Buddha and Grands, of course, too. You know, Alchemist a bit. But
Yeah.
so Muggs is Muggs in 2020 still buying joints?
He's not really buying records like that.
Okay.
But he's still very much, you know, searching for whatever he can get his hands on, as far as, you know, whether it's session musicians, you know, paying them to play some stuff, or using the sample library, or, you know, a wave rip or whatever it might be. But, you know, it's like when you've been digging so long, you only have so much time and so much patience to really, because that's the thing, you know, it's like, it's a service, you know, people that paying for like my time and curation, selection, and, you know, it takes forever to sometimes to find really good stuff, you know.
Oh, it does. That's the thing. And, you know, and especially, you know, his output in recent years has definitely increased, to put it mildly. Like, dude's been doing,
Killing
you know,
it.
some
Prolific.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You know, let alone, you know, of course, everyone knows the Cypress stuff and, you know, all the, you know, House of Pain records, all that. But you know, even the last 2-3 years, Muggs has been putting in work.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
and the stuff sounds really good. But so you talk about the international records. I mean, I'll tell you, dude, this is what I was, Brent, who, you know, my, you know, part of 12-Bit Soul, when we were out in LA, you know, it's funny. We first got introduced to international breaks through Drum Broker, which, you know, I know a lot of us, you know, when we're doing the sample packs and stuff coming up, you know, I know Beat Butcher, when he chimed in, I know his stuff was on, you know, Drum Broker. It was like the place to start, you know, as far as, you know, getting sounds out, this and that. But when that international break series dropped, I was like, okay, what's this all about? You know, no, and it's just, I was kind of laughing about it. I was thinking about it earlier tonight. It's like Brent and I were putting together this remix we did for Havoc did a project that was featured on Drum Broker's site, and it had Chic Luch on it, and then we got our boy Nutso on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, but we're chopping up breaks, trying to get the thing right, and so we're of course digging through right here. Let's see if this shows up right. See how I did this?
Yeah.
All right, I want people to know.
First
yes,
volume.
I've got the WAV files on somewhere tucked into my computer. But I've got the vinyl too. You know, definitely shout out to Redef and all those fine people. But so yeah, man, we're going through those, and it's like, I recommend anybody who is producing to check that out. They gotta check out that international break series. I mean, you've got, how many was it? 15, 16 volumes?
17.
Jeez. Um,
Yeah.
and how many? And you've got what? It's 100, 101 breaks each one.
Yeah. Yeah. So over 1,700 breaks,
You're right. And I mean,
Yeah.
from volume 1 to volume 17 is crazy because you'll hit me up and just so you know, people, I do pay, I support because
I know.
I realize because I was, if you do the math on it, let's say each one of those records is what, $20 to $30 minimally,
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, easily.
and so if each one's $20 to $30, my math is still pretty decent. That's $2,000 to $3,000 that you'd have to spend to accumulate those same records.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know,
very true. Yeah.
or someone can give you
Yeah.
$29.99 and have all that right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, I just think the series is great. So, tell people how that came about, man, because it's really special.
Yeah, I mean, through selling records, every time I found a record that had a drum break on it, I started recording and editing them and putting them in a folder. And this was like 2012, talking to drum broker Alcota at the time. He was just starting his site, really.
Yes.
Uh, Illmind, a few other people were on there at that time. And yeah, we talked about doing some packs. And back then I was like, I don't know if I want to give these drums away in that kind of purist sort of mentality, but it don't matter really. Everyone's got access to everything for the most part, and that was just a good way to a side hustle to make some extra money and
Right.
to just try to stay afloat, being self-employed.
Yeah, no doubt. But what I'm saying, though, man, is like the dedication.
Right.
Because it's like, after you think like, okay, after the first couple volumes, you're like, all right, man, what else is there? And that goes
Yeah.
back to my point. It's like, dude, you keep coming with volumes, and even the subsequent volumes are dope. They're still dope.
Right on, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't know. It's just like I tell any producer that's coming up to chop those drums, and even if they're established or not,
Yeah.
yeah, the breaks are crazy. And
And even if you don't make hip hop too, it
no,
could be any genre really.
yeah,
um, because the way you can manipulate them, and the kind of more interesting percussive ones, and you got the boom bap ones, and it's a mixed bag. It's supposed to be unique, you know, just kind of a different vibe from your typical funk soul type of breaks. And it's really cool to see like where they end up sometimes too, because I've definitely noticed some on some bigger projects and whatnot.
any projects that you can mention without dropping a dime on something?
Well, I know like there was one that they cleared for the Eminem Marshall Mathers LP2.
Oh,
It was a little while ago, but yeah, M-Phase just hit me up about that and was like, yeah, this is what it is. They had to clear it for that. But yeah, I mean, there's been like Freddie Gibbs. I know, Emil Haney said like everybody uses them, from like Mark Ronson and all of his people, and Alchemist, of course, and Boy Wonder, Hit Boy. Like, yeah, it's crazy where they end up.
well, and that's what I'm saying. And shout out to Pat checking in. And I know he's a big fan of, he's all part of the 12-bit Soul Camp too. And I know he's a big fan of the international breaks. And it's just,
I know.
like I said, man, even I want to say, and I got this one too. I got
Number
that one
two.
too. And, and I just left them, they're still sealed. Like, because, I think it's just special. No, I mean, because dude, it's like,
Collection.
it really is. That's exactly what it is. It's something
Yeah.
special, to have. Because I think, what did you end up doing? Up to volume 5 on vinyl? Right?
There's six.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plan is to do more, but just haven't got around to it.
No. I mean, but like I said, dude, those are a lot of fun in chopping up all that now. And tell people too about the international one shots. Like I think that's a series
Right.
that kind of kind of sails under the radar as far
Yeah.
as some of what you do.
Yeah, I mean that's another pack of breaks, or not breaks, but like one shot hits with a similar vibe and similar texture as what international breaks is. Pack, folders of kicks, snares, hi-hat loops, percussion loops, drum rolls, and then like some cool like effects, sounds, and trippy stuff off records, basically.
Yeah, because and then there's what, five? I feel like I'm one off tonight here, Nick. There's 5 volumes of those, right?
Yeah, 5.
All
Yeah.
right, there we go. See,
Yeah.
I'd get it right eventually here tonight. So okay, with the international, so do you have more volumes planned as far as international breaks are concerned?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it definitely takes a while to do each one,
Right.
to collect and curate them all. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving, I guess, as long as people keep the interest is still there. So yeah.
Now, so is it just like when you're coming to, like, do you set out to find the breaks, or is it just you're kind of sifting through, you come across something?
Yeah, it's just, I'm buying so many records all the time anyway. So like whenever I find one, it just gets recorded, edited, put in the pack, and just keep collecting them up till I got 100 ready to go. But sometimes like I'll try and do some research, see if I can find something out there. Because the thing is, LA is so amazing for digging, because it's such a melting pot of culture, and like yeah, there's so many really great stores here too. So pretty spoiled for choice.
No, I can definitely tell. Like anytime I ask you for something, it doesn't. I can't remember too many times you've come back with I can't get that record. So
right.
Yeah. Even the library joints you get, and I'll be like, Nick, can you get me these library joints? You'd be like, yeah. And then lo and behold, they show up in the mail. I'm like, geez,
right.
like this guy can find anything. So, but I kind of laugh. We geek out about the hard to find records. I'm going to reference that record on your wall in the back that looks like a Bobby Caldwell record.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows that. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But it's like, it's such a classic, one of my favorite records, and What You Won't Do for Love, one of the greatest of all time, everyone knows that. But it's so funny and amazing that people are still finding out that this dude is white and he's not black. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Soulful guy.
Because and he's somebody I've gone back to in recent years too. Because he's dope, and I don't think Bobby Caldwell got the recognition. Don't get me wrong. What You Want to Do for Love is, I think that got a lot of recognition, of course, at the time, but I don't think his overall talent and his catalog has.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's cool to see, this is a few years ago now, but he did that album Cool Uncle with
I never checked it. How was that album?
Pretty dope, man. Yeah, like there's a Mayor Hawthorne feature on there. It was a really dope song. Couple other like kind of 70s soul legends on there. But yeah, it's cool project, cool collaborative thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check it, because it's just and I always go back to the joint that JD, that Dilla sample for Commons, The Light. Like,
yeah, Open Your Eyes. Yeah.
And and I go back to that, and I'm like, okay, it sounds like the sample, but the break never really opens up.
Yeah, I always wondered that. Like, there must be like a lot of replayed stuff on there.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. I mean, I'm thinking like, okay, Dilla had to get it replayed, but it sounds just like the record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what? Actually, because one of the reasons why this is up here is because I saw him live in LA a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And got the record signed and got to talk to him and stuff. And he was mad cool. And let me tell you, he was all for people sampling his music. He was like, no, because some artists from that era, they don't like it. They're not cool with it. But he was like, no, I love all that stuff. I love what they've done, and it's helped my career, because it does. When someone like that gets sampled for, big songs, it can reinvigorate somebody's career from that era, because all the kids who don't know about him are going to go back and check, check the catalog and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
and that's kind of what that's what I did too. I mean and it was definitely hip hop that brought me to the vinyl culture. Like I didn't know the samples first and then heard the hip hop records. I heard the hip hop records first, and then I went back and explored and found Donald Byrd or Roy Ayers or
Right.
whomever it was. So and that's what I think. That's one thing I always loved about hip hop music is it makes you kind of go back and do the history on the music. So yeah, I just that kind of I think that's when I looked, I'm like, that's got to be Bobby Caldwell. But then again, it's Nick, so it could be like some rare Japanese record sunsetting.
Yeah, I mean, we love the rare records. The rare records that are dope, but there's something about those type of just dollar bin joints that are always going to be classic. And wherever the good music comes from,
Well,
like,
and I
what
mean
it's about.
that's what I'm saying too, because like I pulled out this one tonight, and I know this is one of my all-time favorites, and it's timely because he's been making his rounds on social media. So the Bob James 1 joint, and shout out to Bob James for giving all the shout outs to Black artists and people that came up and gave him a chance that that were Black. And he came out recently, and I think it was a 7 or 8 minute long video, and was like, yo, if it wasn't for these artists, I don't exist. And I thought,
Right? Yeah, I didn't see that. That's dope.
beautiful. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
great.
it was just because it's true. Like, I mean, Bob James was immersed. Yeah, you know how it is with CTI. He was immersed with Black artists. So I mean, I just even on the on the back, I've got two of my favorite. You know how it is, Nick. When you're coming up, you kind of come across the same thing you're digging, and then you kind of come across Bob James, and you think you're really doing something, But I mean, I did at the time, But just I look at the musicians that are on here, and I'm looking at, I'm actually looking at, this is crazy right here. I mean, I just,
classic. Yeah.
1 and 2, but okay, so he's got Patty Austin on there, then it's Eric Gale on there. Gary King, Steve Gadd, who's just a bananas drummer, Ralph McDonald on, percussion, so on and so forth. These are people, and that he's working with, and a lot of times, he's the lone white dude, and so for him to give props, I thought was appropriate, and I thought it was just dope. So, like I said, shout out to Bob James. Stay woke, Bob. Stay woke. So what other records like coming up did you like that really kind of made an impression on you, and that like where you thought you're doing something now that you're coming across and digging and finding these records?
Yeah, going back to my parents' collection, they had some really cool jazz and fusion stuff. Like Grover Washington, Mr. Magic was one.
Right.
That's a classic. Also like Gil Scott-Heron, Brian Jackson, Winter in America.
Okay.
They had that one, which is kind of, Estrada East label, which isn't like a cheap record. So that was cool that they had that. And yeah, it was stuff like that. And I'm trying to think of some other ones. But yeah, those were, Average White Band were another one.
Right.
Cut the Cake album.
Oh, that's a great album, though.
Yeah. Those are the ones that come to mind as far as what I was kind of messing with in the early days.
Okay. Now, now, Nick, prepare. Just make sure you're sitting down. All right. So here we go. The debut album. Right? This is the debut joint, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. So tell people about this one. Once again, it's sealed, so it's not going on the Bay, man. I'm not doing that. But I left it sealed. So what's the story with the debut album, man? Like, I mean, you've got Thes One's on this joint. You got Cassius King on here, Big Twins, and of course you got a lot of instrumental joints
Yeah.
as
So
well.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's the EP version where there was like a couple bonus beats and instrumentals, and it comes with a download card of the full album um, on King Underground Records. But yeah, that was a long time coming. I always wanted to do like a producer album and have some instrumentals, have some features with people I work with. And yeah, I got to work with some homies, some people I look up to, some people I'm inspired by. And yeah, like it was, yeah, it's about 5 years old now, coming up on 5 years.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I know, I guess this is a good segue to go into the production work. So talk about your production work. Because I know you've worked with Blue, but and talk, feel free to talk about the Blue joint, but I'm sure what a lot of people probably don't know is that joint that you did with Faith Evans and then that unreleased Biggie verse. Why don't you tell
Yeah,
people about that?
got that up here too. The King and I.
Oh, okay. Now you move over and you see that one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Biggie too, not just Bobby Caldwell. Good deal. But yeah,
Yeah.
so tell folks about that, man.
Yeah, so I was signed to a production deal with Fred Rec for 3 years, and we still work together, do things on a case by case basis. But yeah, that was one. He was cool with Faith and her people, and she had reached out to Fred about making some beats for her, and I had submitted a bunch of stuff, and it was kind of a random beat that I wasn't really expecting would get picked for anything. Um, and yeah, me and Fred kind of went in and replayed some stuff. Got to meet Faith. She was working at Snoop Dogg's studio at the time. So that was super cool experience to see. Yeah, Snoop's got an insane studio, by the way. Like he's got like, I don't know, 20 plus studio rooms. He's got green screen rooms, arcades, casinos. Like it's crazy. Yeah, it's wild.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
Okay, so
definitely a big career highlight for sure.
no, that's dope. And obviously, Fred and Snoop go way back. So
Yeah, absolutely.
needless to say with what they do with Martha Stewart now,
Yeah,
that
man.
shit trips me out when I see it. I'm like,
Right?
what?
I know. It's so
Oh my gosh! I never thought that hip hop would take it that far, right?
funny. Exactly.
But seriously though, man. So, yeah, that's a trip. So, you got that record. You talk about working with Fred. I think, I texted him earlier and then said that we were going to be doing this. I'm like, yeah, hey, going live with your boy tonight. And
Right.
but so how's that relationship? Like, what is it? How's that partnership work? That relationship work with you and Fred? Like, how's the synergy work with you two?
So it's funny because like we met through eBay.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, in the first year that I moved here, when I was selling records more on eBay, he hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you have any more records? In the vein of what you're selling?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a bunch." And he said, "Let me come through." So, he came over, bought some records, and I guess I must have like somehow segued into like, "Oh, by the way, I make beats," and played him some stuff, and he was impressed and was like, "Let's keep in touch. Let's keep this moving." And eventually, he was like, "Yeah, I'm starting to sign some producers." And yeah, like I'll send him beats. He'll submit stuff to through his various channels, or like, we might send an idea back and forth, and add to it like that, or in person. But yeah, man, Fred's a man. Big shout out to Fred Rec.
No, see, and that's
Yeah.
dope because I've always liked, had a chance to meet him briefly when Brent and I were at NAMM in
Right.
2018. We ran into him, but I mean, he's like a legitimate multi-instrumentalist, isn't he?
He really is. Yeah, he's crazy. He's super talented, can play all kinds of stuff, and he's got incredible stories too. He's met everybody from Michael Jackson to Donald Trump to like all kinds of just wild people.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
you know, he's cool with Bootsy Collins and like, um, yeah. But yeah, I've seen that guy, you know, make some amazing stuff on the spot.
Well,
Um,
and two, what a lot of people don't know, and probably some I didn't know either, is I didn't know his mix game was as trusted as it is. You know,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I've been seeing Muggs rely on Fred for like I know the last Cypress Hill album, and then I want to say a lot of those Muggs projects. You know, I want to say like the Rock Marciano and maybe the
exactly, yeah.
Mayhem joint, but um, so I mean his mix game is like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's great at helping people finish songs or projects or, you know, he's the guy, kind of go-to guy when stuff needs to get wrapped up on top of everything else he does, you know.
Jeez. Yeah. No, I mean that's special right there. So, and you said also you know, you and I were chatting the other night. You've recorded with Blue. What exactly you've done with Blue? Like, I mean, a lot of people probably know Blue going back with the Exile joint, the Below the
Below the
Heavens,
heavens. Yeah, yeah.
and then Blue's done a lot of stuff. Just, I mean, Blue's been on a lot of projects. Like,
He
you know, he's
has.
been on
Yeah.
a lot of joints. So,
Hmm.
um, you know, and for those who aren't familiar, it's BLU. Go check them out, stream it, search it. I think you'll like it. So, talk about your relationship and how that worked out with you guys.
So I guess the first time was through Cassius King.
Okay.
Used to go by Koss.
Sure, sure,
He's
sure.
yeah, Dirty Science affiliate. He's worked with all them guys for many years from the beginning. But yeah, it was a cool song called Through the Flames that I produced with Blue and him. And yeah, that kind of started things off. And you know, through the years, there's been a couple other things. Like there was another Cassius King song, Black Hockey Players, with him, Blue, Rascass, and Planet Asia. I think that was like 2014, maybe.
Okay.
And then yeah, we were talking to Blue again recently. Worked with him last year for my album with Feo, the Patience album. The song's called Monaco. And there's probably going to be some more stuff with Blue as well, because me and Cassius King are working on a project. He's been going in lately, sending me a bunch of songs. He's in crazy record mode right now. So yeah, I'm excited for that stuff as well.
No, that's dope. Now, so what other projects besides that are you working on? Like, what's anything in the, you know, because you did some joint. Didn't you do a joint with Billy Taylor? Am I saying that right? What was the,
Billy Taylor?
not the Billy Taylor record? It was I'm trying to think what it was. Where you uh, what project did you do? It's escaping me right now. Within the last 2 years. Um,
October London?
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That
Billy
record.
Taylor.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm all over the place. That I talk about that October London record because
Yeah.
people don't. That dude is dope.
He's insanely talented. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't blown way up, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, he signed to Snoop Dogg. Um, and yeah, I mean, he kind of sounds like a young Marvin Gaye, to be honest.
yeah. No, I mean, I can buy that. Like, he's and you're the one who hit me to the October London. I had no idea, and you're like, yo, you know,
Yeah.
Fred and I worked on this. You know, Snoop's associated with it. I was like, cool. That's all I needed to hear. And yeah, it's. I want to see that guy get more traction because,
Yeah.
like, there's definitely that niche, especially now with a lot of the kind of the emo R&B stuff and some of the trap R&B. I think I think there's a lane for somebody that's more in a like a traditional vibe, but still with an updated feel. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he has the talent to like be a big pop star if he wanted, but like his voice, you know, he's got kind of such a retro soul sound, but it's so clean. He can kind of do it all, but I really love the kind of the R&B retro soul stuff. Like, um, He's got a great song with Snoop Dogg called Top Down.
Yes,
Um, Black Man in America is an incredible song, especially for these times right now.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, the guy's just, yeah, he's crazy. I hope to work with him again, you know?
Yeah. So what else? What else you got cooking up?
Yeah.
Um, in the near future, we'll say.
Yeah. So, I'm releasing my first instrumental album pretty soon.
Oh shoot.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. Order and Chaos. It's probably going to be coming. It's funny
All
because
right.
I thought of that title like a year ago, but it's like very fitting for these times right now, you know.
Oof. Yeah.
Um,
Order and
but
chaos.
yeah, because it's so it's like half of the songs are kind of mellow, chill, soulful stuff, and the other half are like darker, aggressive stuff. Um, yeah, so that should be coming in the next month or so.
Now,
And,
how much of it's sample based, how much of it's, live or replayed elements?
there's a lot of samples and there's a lot of it's probably like a 50-50 thing, or
Okay.
maybe merging merging the two kind of samples with played stuff over the top, for a lot of the songs, and a couple instrument couple sample free tracks as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's also working with this really talented singer Jen M.
Okay.
Fred Rex also getting involved with that too. She and I have recorded a bunch of demos that have turned out really nice. Yeah, she's super talented. I hope we can put some stuff out by the end of the year, hopefully. Another really talented guy, Nana. He was in here earlier. Shout out my boy Nana if he's still here. But super dope, talented rapper from the Crenshaw area, who's going to be really making some more noise over the next year or so. He's got a lot of great stuff coming. Yeah, album of Cash is King. Might be by the end of the year, hopefully, or
Okay.
we're definitely putting out a single within the next couple weeks or so.
Oh, that's
Uh,
dope.
yeah, and then probably another project like a kind of a creative medicine follow up where it's like featured artists, rappers, singers. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of like talented people on the come up from around here too that
Oh
eventually
yeah. Oh yeah. There's
eventually
there's no
drop.
short. Let's face it. There's no shortage of talent in Los Angeles and just Southern California alone.
Yeah.
Let alone the LA area. So yeah, I can it's a hotbed for dopeness, I can imagine. So now, we alluded to it earlier, and I want people to know, obviously I got that pinned comment on there. So for people to head over to 12-Bit Soul, we've got enter your email address in there. We're going to be doing a raffle on Monday, and the winner wins our 12-Bit Soul library, the volume 5, and then your volume 2 for Prisma Music Library. So why don't you tell people about that? Because I was just listening to some of the demos on it, and like it's really hitting. It's dope.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, glad you dig it. Yeah, so that's a collaborative project with me and my boy DJ Ribe. He and I have been working together for many years, and we just thought like we can do this too. It wasn't like a jumping on the bandwagon type of thing.
Right.
It was just like, look, it's another avenue to pursue. It's another way to get potential placements and more collaborations with people. So that was our like priority. Just another way to make stuff happen, hopefully. And he has a bunch of vintage synths and stuff, and we were like, look, combine our talents, we can make some really interesting stuff. And we're not trying to churn them out or anything. We're not trying to drop them, every couple of weeks, but just trying to put out quality packs. If we put out 5 a year, that's cool. I'm happy with that.
Are you happy with how the response has been as far as from fans and customers and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. Probably better than I was expecting, actually. you know, because it's a brand new thing. It's like starting from scratch with a whole new brand. You know, you got to get people to trust your brand and your style
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. Seen a lot of people flip stuff, and it's really, that's the cool thing, to hear how people interpret and manipulate our music.
Oh, I can imagine, dude. Like, I mean, that's the that's the fun of it. You know, when you get to
Exactly.
create and then you get to hear the interpretations from other people. So, where can people find the Prisma Music Library?
So that is gumroad.com/prisma underscore music underscore library. Maybe I should type it in here.
Yeah, Nick, why don't you do that? Because there's no way in hell we're gonna be able to get that thing on there.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely get that
yeah,
on
it's a
there.
bit
Because
complicated.
I'm like, man, where are you gonna find that? And you're like underscore
I
slash,
know, I know, I know.
look under this rock, it's there. So are you doing so with the music libraries? How many stems? I didn't get a chance to listen through to the whole um, pack that you sent over earlier. So how many stems are in there for producers to use?
So the first pack we did 12 compositions with stems for everything. The second pack is 10 with all of the stems. Um, yeah, because we were just trying to like keep it a little bit condensed. But you know, we might change the content as far as, you know, how many we put in each pack as it goes. Just kind of playing it by ear and see what we create and see what fits. But you know, it's definitely been having fun with it. And yeah, we should be dropping volume 3 probably by the end of the month, I would say.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. Now, so what kind of vintage synths are on there? For just so people can kind of get an
Yeah, so
idea.
yeah, we got a mini Moog. There's an electronica Russian synth on there. The EMS 25, if I'm remembering correctly. There's this like Bon Tempi organ thing. It's kind of a funny little mini like organ. Microkorg, bunch of pedals. There's a couple other things I'm just blanking on right now, but yeah, it's a varied style. You know, that was kind of some stuff is soulful, some stuff's like really dark and grimy.
Yeah.
Um, just yeah, a mixed bag of our styles, pretty much.
No, and I definitely encourage people to go over. Yeah, definitely, even just to check your IG, because I know you have a lot of the Prisma stuff on your IG, just to listen to that, because just those demos alone are dope. So let
Thank
me.
you.
So what? So as far as sound design, who are some of the sound design people that you're really feeling out there now? Because the market's cluttered, but at the end of the day, you still kind of hear a lot of the same names, get mentioned. So who are you really feeling in that sound design realm?
Um, Pelham Jr. are great.
Yeah, they are,
Um,
they are dope. Out of
yeah,
I think they're out of North Carolina,
North
South Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Pat Jr. He raps too. He's also a really dope rapper. Um, my boy Kane One, big shout out to him. He's been doing his thing for some time, and
oh yeah,
his stuff's really picking up with Hijo de Ramon. His libraries are really dope. Um, let me see. I mean, obviously the Kingsway kind of started everything for everybody, really. Obviously, sample packs were around before, but they
yeah.
changed the game, you know.
But Frank Dukes, when he kind of did that before all the offshoots, and the offshoots are dope too for the Kingsway. They're,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's all good stuff, but that you're right though. That Kingsway was something special when a lot of us, and we're included in it. We were just doing a lot of drums. We weren't even thinking really about
right,
doing stems and individual
exactly.
individual stems, or like a 2-track stem. And then these dropped, and I was like, shit.
Opened the whole music industry up, to be honest.
Ooh. I
You know, it
mean,
changed everything.
because what a lot of people don't understand with the Kingsway and you know and Frank Dukes is those songs went on to be hits.
Big hits.
Whether
Yeah,
it was those or songs that that were associated with that maybe Frank was you know, siphoning off to producers. Because I want to
Right.
say, was it what was it? Drake's record? Was it the 0 to 100 joint?
Yeah, yeah, that was it. Yeah,
That was a Frank Dukes composition in that lane of
yeah,
the Kingsway. Because I think who did that one? Boy Wonder. Don't quote
yeah,
me. Think
yeah. I'm
so.
pretty sure it was. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so he did that, and I mean, so for producers, yeah, that was big. So enough of my side. Who else are you digging on the sound design stuff?
Beat Butcher, absolutely. You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't have his like real packs out there publicly like that,
No.
you know, because he sends most of his stuff around to his, you know, network of producers. So I'm fortunate to mess with those and to hear a lot of the stuff he's working on because he's insane with it. He's crazy.
No, his, you know, and that I
Super
think,
dope.
you know, we've got actually Beat Butcher coming up next week, believe it or not. So he's
Oh,
going to be
nice.
on.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Dope.
So he and I were talking about. So he's going to be on. But you know, that's the thing. A lot of people don't know.
There he
All right,
is. Good
all
guy.
right, Beat Butcher. I thought, all right, brother. I thought you tuned in and then tuned out. But hey, you stayed with us, man. So he's going to be on and, you know, definitely talk about his packs and his production because, you know, and that's the thing. I want more people to understand the behind the scenes and how, you know, how music now it's different how sounds get done and the collaborations get done.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so it's just kind of an interesting aspect. And sound design is such a major thing and a component that's so necessary in making a lot of dope music now.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. Yeah, like I said, you know, open things way up for everybody and you know, it's a way to collaborate with more people. It's a way to
Yeah.
you know, spread your network out and like just connect with more people because you never know who's going to end up flipping something of yours. It might
No.
be someone you've never heard of that's super talented and you're like all of a sudden, okay, this person you know, in Paris or whatever is really good, and let's build something with them. So you never know what might happen, really, because and it's also it's you know doubling your chances of landing something too, because you know who might send you know something they flip to a big artist or an artist, a really talented artist on
Yeah.
the come up, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way, you know, and it's another you know, because you know, shout out to, you know, MSX and,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Simp and all them who do their thing, because I know they did some stuff and then you know, it got picked up on Amigos record. And
Right. Okay, I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I don't know what it was. I
Yeah,
don't exactly know the sound
that's
or the
dope.
loop or whatever, but you know, there's you know, a lot of opportunities for, you know, these revenue streams. And,
Yeah,
you know, and sometimes you don't know what it may from a sync license standpoint. And that's, you know, you could be doing one of these Prisma joints and then it pops up on a Netflix series.
yeah, you never know, man. You never know. I'm
I
sure
mean,
MSX never thought that Migos would end up popping on their music.
yeah, I mean, you
You
know, and
know?
that's the thing. You don't know. And then it's one of those things. So, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunities,
Yeah.
you know,
And
with
it's
the
cool to
sound
see
design.
how the music is interpreted, you know,
Yeah.
because you might make something that you're like, oh, okay, this sounds like some grimy boom bap stuff, but then someone will flip it into some like trap song, and you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't even thinking of it in that way, but
No,
came out
no.
great.
No, I think, and I think there was an example of that when we first did our native instruments, our first native instruments expansion, Headland Flow, which is it basically anybody who wants to know it comes from the line from Outkast, you know, Headland and Delo, which is an intersection in Southwest Atlanta, and you know, off the Elevators record, and so we did that, and Ray Murray is apropos as it gets. Shout out to Ray Murray and Organized Noise. He took some of those sounds from our expansion, right? He's a big native instruments dude.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray sent Justin Myrax, who was, you know, working the project at the time. Shout out to Justin. He sent 9 joints over that he did of our music. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, okay, let me try not to be like that geeked out fan, but I couldn't help it. I was that geeked out fan. So I rushed. I get in the car, plug it in, and I'm hearing him flip joints, that we did on the sound design stuff. And he's flipping it like, he's doing demo beats and stuff. And I'm like, this sounds incredible. So I'm saying all that to say, to feed your point, it's like, you don't know what someone's going to do, and you don't know who's going to do it.
That's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it.
So, yeah. That's the fun stuff. I mean, it's great to still be a fan of this.
You have to be. You have to be.
Yeah.
Got to be a fan. Got to be a student. Always stuff to learn.
There really is. I mean, it's there's so much to learn. There's so much good music that's still out there. I mean, like, we can always gripe about the monotony of the mainstream, but I mean, that's always been that way. Mainstream music's mainstream for a reason. I mean, it's kind of lowest common denominator. You got to sift through and find some other music out there, and it's out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, and it really is, and there's a lot of creative stuff. So what are you feeling? What are you feeling in today's climate right now, as far as, and it doesn't have to just be hip hop. It could be hip hop, R&B, rock, whatever. But what are you feeling right now?
There's a lot of, I mean, like, you familiar with Nick Hakim?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't say that I really am. I want to say I've seen the name on one of my Spotify playlists.
Right. Well, that's the thing, yeah, because like there's so much stuff on Spotify that we're just you can easily find something you like now, and easily forget the name of it too. So you got to like keep up on your playlist and stuff. But yeah, Nick Hakim, he makes kind of psychedelic soul music.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Yeah, really. He's got a crazy voice and just like very unique, kind of lush textures and like soulful stuff.
Right.
Stuff in that vein, and like been digging, like the new Alchemist projects, like Freddie Gibbs.
That shit's dope, dude.
Yeah. Freddie's killing it.
Oh, dude, I was like, because I listened, and it was last Friday, and I'm like, let me sit with this Alfredo joint. And I'm a big fan of Gibbs because where I grew up wasn't too far from Gary, Indiana, in the Chicago area, and so to have somebody from Gary doing it and holding it down like that is just, it's a beautiful thing. And then, but he is destroying it. I love it, man. And so
I think he's in his prime. I think he's in his prime right now.
He is, because he came out swinging. He came out swinging with that bandana joint, the one he did last year with Madlib, and and this thing right here. And I'll tell you this, and I mean this very lovingly to Alchemist. It's nice to hear his beats with drums again.
Yeah.
And it's shout out to Rock Marciano and that whole no drums on our loop style, but it's really nice to hear some drums hooked up on these beats again. That's just a little pet peeve. I will hop off my soapbox. But yeah, it is what it is. So who else you digging, man?
Let me look at my Spotify right now. Actually, see my recent playlist or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Snow Allegra on the R&B tip.
She's dope. Very
She's
dope.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Infinite Bizu.
Not familiar. What's it? I'm not hip.
Yeah. Kind of dope, like indie again, like kind of soulful, kind of psychedelic, down tempo stuff. Let me see what else. I mean, like stuff in the vein of Mac DeMarco. Like, there's a lot of like stuff that sounds like him. He kind of birthed the whole kind of style, I feel like. Let me see what else. Charlotte Day Wilson.
Okay.
She's amazing. More kind of R&B type of stuff.
And that's the thing. You're touching on a lot of the R&B, and I think
Yeah,
me
yeah,
personally, for a lot of new music, that's where I've gone, is a lot of the R&B stuff.